Smash Ultimate Speculation is about to enter its final season, and what will be the final character in Smash Ultimate. People like me have been going nuts over what it could be, since this could potentially be Sakurai's last game. So I've looked at all of the options, every single one of them, and have narrowed it down to one possible choice. Shrek! Okay, yeah, I deserve that. This is normally the part where I preamble the video and explain what I'm going to do. But I think past me, who got drenched in water, explained it pretty well. We're going to be talking about possible characters from some of the more wanted characters, and I'll be debunking some because I don't believe they're going to happen. I'll share some of my ones out of the most wanted characters to get in the game. As honestly, at this point, everyone I want in Smash Ultimate is basically in Ultimate, aside from one choice, and then a bunch of niche choices that are from games that are so small, they don't even have a chance of getting a Spirit. As much as I would love them to even get that. Let's start with the ones that just are debunked, sadly, due to memes. And most of these came really recently. Loyld Irving and Shantae are extremely popular characters who are not getting in. Also, I know a lot of people wanted Dante. I have no experience with this series. I have at least seen Shantae's games, and I actually just finished up Tales of Graces. So I haven't played Symphonia, but I would love a Tales rep, I'm not gonna lie. Other popular choices that I have on my list of potential characters that have been debunked are the Monster Hunter. This one feels a bit less likely just because the fact the Monster Hunters as characters have so many different outfits they could easily get away with there being a me. And then this one wasn't debunked by a me, but I would love to at least see them get a me, but they're debunked by an assist trophy. Shovel Knight. Out of the ones on my list that fall into the debunked category, I think Shovel Knight's the most likely, as he's the only one who actually does not appear in a playable form, and at that, you could easily get away with, and, like, two things. One, you could place the Shovel Knight assist trophy with Black Knight. If Shovel Knight is in the match, prevent the Shovel Knight assist trophy from appearing, as that can happen. For example, I don't know if you're on a stage with a gigantic mirror in the background, Alucard can't appear. That's a fun fact. Or you could just, or even just make Shovel Knight representative Black Knight and just give him an alternate costume where he looks like Shovel Knight. But I still don't see it happening. Really, the same goes for my next one I'm gonna debunk, which is literally every indie fighter. We are not going to get an indie rep. I would love to eat my words, but I still don't think Smash Ultimate and Smash has evolved far enough to really include indie games in the roster. We're getting a lot closer, at least they're getting Mii's now, and music, but the ones that would definitely be deserving, just sheerly on popularity, not gonna say anything about their games, that would be deserving of becoming a fighter are characters like Sans, Shantae, Cuphead, Shovel Knight. You know, characters who already have Mii's! It's not happening, so sorry, literally every indie representative. The next one I would like to debunk is probably the most controversial so far, and that is Master Chief. Solely because normally I would say, oh, one DLC character per company. This would make this a lot easier. Microsoft got both Banjo and Steve, however. So, that leaves... So, I'm ignoring that rule, except for in this case. Microsoft does not need a third DLC rep. We have had 12 DLC fighters. 2 of them have been from Microsoft. If a third one is from Microsoft, I find that worse than the Fire Emblem problem you guys keep complaining about. I'm not opposed to Master Chief or another Microsoft rep joining Smash. I'm opposed to there being 3 in the DLC for this one game. If there was a Fighter Pass 3, I could maybe justify it. But it's just ridiculous. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad Banjo was in the game, or I was when he was announced. And Steve was definitely the right call financially, but Microsoft does not need 3 reps out of 12 DLC slots. Plus, and this next bit's subjective, but does Master Chief deserve to represent our first FPS character? Is Halo the series that will be representing, at least for the next several years, the entire highly popular genre of first-person shooters in all of Smash Bros? That's basically the problems he has. Just more saturation of a company that's already taken up almost a fourth of the DLC slots. And is he the character that should be the face of this genre? Objection! I was gonna do someone else first, Pheoinix, but okay. Let's hear your case. The thing is, I think Pheoinix Wright actually has a decent shot. Or at least as a Mii fighter. Ace Attorney is a really popular series. It's been getting it's been getting a lot more mainstream in the last few years. Especially around when these characters were getting picked. With games like the Ace Attorney trilogy in 2017. And then the Great Ace Attorney coming to the West a few weeks ago. This really helps his case. And I think he'd be our first visual novel character as well. The thing is, would he have a moveset that would be interesting and fun? That's the one thing that holds him back from being high up on this list of possibilities. Because Sakurai has stated before something along the lines of, it doesn't matter if they're popular, it just matters if they're fun to play. And I argue cases like Banjo and Kazooie and Min Min, because those guys are not fun. But here's the thing. Would Pheoinix be able to hold his own as a unique and interesting character? And would they? Because how do you make a character, or any character in the series, who have very little movement frames into a fighter? Yes, I know Marvel vs. Capcom did that, but it still doesn't work that well. And would they translate the very, snappy movement style that the games have into Smash? How well would that translate? Like, to me, it just has these problems with it. And I am fully open to this case. I would love to see this lawyer get into Smash. That's right, the Doomslayer. Honestly, I think if we're going to get a first FPS rep in Smash, unless Nintendo makes their own, which I don't think they are, they have Splatoon covering shooters, it should be Doom Guy. Because this man created modern FPSs, created speed running. I don't really care that much for FPSs, but I appreciate Doom as a series because of the impact it had on gaming. And I think, as much as I dislike zoners, Doom Guy, from what I know about the series from friends who have played it, he could work really well. Because Doom, despite being a shooter, is about getting up close and personal. Like, I could see him having a handful of ranged attacks, but most of his attacks focus on command grabs or beating the crap out of your opponent. Could be slow and powerful with a few decent projectiles. Basically Ganondorf, but replace moves like Warlock Punch with Samus's Neutral B. Cause that sounds fun to face. But like the thing is, projectile characters are fine as long as you don't make their projectiles too overbearing. Like Pac-Man's fine to play against. Cause he only has like one or two, and I'll be honest, they aren't that powerful. It's not like a character like Samus, where half their specials are literally shooting moves. It's worse than Sonic. I'm not joking. So yeah, I would honestly love to see the Doom Guy, and I think he would fit horribly in the roster of Smash. That's a compliment. That's right. Crash Something's Bandicoot. I'll be honest, I haven't played Crash. I'm sorry, it's just, they're too difficult. I know, I'm complaining. It's just, when games get too difficult, I get frustrated. But that's a topic for another day. I like challenging games. I just don't like it to a degree where it frustrates me to the point of getting frustrated. But Crash would make a welcome addition to Smash. Plus, he would finally give Sony a representative, which they desperately need. And he has a moveset that pretty well writes himself out and wouldn't be too hard to develop development-wise. As for example, just steal Incineroar's Neutral B. That's your Neutral B. You need to do nothing else. You can even copy and paste the animation with a new model. It would work, I think. I've animated before, but never with 3D models, so I don't know how that works. But while I'm on the topic, Spyro would also work. For some reason, I didn't write him down during my research, but he would work as well. Him and Crash were basically the Sony mascots during the PlayStation 1 era, and it's still weird to have every company aside from Sony represented, given at this point Sony only has a few that could work, as one of their flagship franchises right now is technically ineligible. Because it's an adaptation of a story, even though it's really fresh and a really new take on the story, or somewhat new take, but it originates from something other than a video game. So that really leaves Crash, Spyro, and Ratchet, I guess? If they want to do a PlayStation rep, and I think Crash fits the best. He'd be a welcome addition to the roster, unlike Doom Guy, who is extremely unwelcome in the best ways possible. Bandana Dee, a character I'm honestly surprised isn't in Smash by now. Now, there's the obvious caveat of Sakurai seems to dislike Kirby characters from after he stopped making Kirby games. Fair enough. But Bandana Dee did make a cameo before Sakurai left Kirby. So that's his one problem. And honestly, Bandana Dee's moveset writes himself. It looks fun. It looks like it would be a lot of fun. Like, honestly, I'm surprised. Kirby hasn't got a new representative since Brawl. It's just weird. Especially since Kirby is Sakurai's baby. That, and Kid Icarus, and Smash. You know, this list seems like it was gone for a while. It's really just Kirby, Smash, and Kid Icarus Uprising. But yeah, Bandana Dee writes himself. I don't have much to say on how you'd work or any problems they might face. It's a first-party Nintendo character. His moveset writes himself. Just look at him in Star Allies or Return to Dreamland. And it's a character Sakurai created. It just makes sense. Remember earlier when I said there is one more character I'd like to see that is actually possible? You won't believe who I'm talking about. It's not as if I just framed the setup to be that character. Yeah, honestly, I'd love a Nier rep. Nier is such a fantastic game series, like, straight up. Check out Nier Replicant and Nier Automata. They're really fun games if you like action games. Honestly, check out anything made by Platinum. I can really just say play anything made by Platinum Games. But Nier Automata is an amazing game, and hell, 2B nearly tops most lists. She's one of the most popular characters not added in Smash Ultimate so far. Which I find hypocritical considering Baal's top lists in Japan, and look at how we reacted to him. But 2B is a popular character from a developer that's on really good terms with Nintendo. They made an amazing game. And genuinely, 2B would be a character that surprisingly fits well in Smash. Plus, you can already think of some really powerful combos she could do by dual wielding. She doesn't exactly dual wield, but she always has two weapons on her. My one concern regarding 2B would be alternate costumes, as the game is very grayscale in color. I could see there being a blue or black alt, but I really can't see much, and a more white alt, but still, there's black and white, white, black. I can only think of 3 alts. I don't know. But 2B is probably the character I want on this list most. But the thing is, I would like most characters as long as they're fun. Banjo-Kazooie, seriously, I'm still disappointed by them. But they could be a whole 30-minute video of their own. Please don't make me play Banjo. Please don't make me play Banjo. But, yeah. Honestly, a Nier rep would be great. Another Platinum rep would be great. They're up there along with another rep from Atlas. However, Atlas already got a rep in the Fighters Pass. 1. Platinum hasn't got a rep since the final fighter of Smash 4. Wouldn't that be poetic for the next Platinum game fighter to also be a final DLC fighter, just from a different game? I think personally, so. I used this list to narrow down what popular choices I would end up choosing for this video. It's a bit outdated, however, it still works. And you might notice a glaring, gigantic, #1 in all regions except Japan-sized issue. It's very simple. The character is different in all regions for number 1. There is definitely a It's weird that these lists only go to number 9, however. I don't understand that. That's such a weird decision from these list makers' parts. Why would there only be up to a 9th slot? Wouldn't 10 just make so much more sense? Fine, I'll address Sora. Look, I know nothing about Kingdom Hearts. It's not going to happen. It's owned by Disney. At the very least, maybe the original characters are owned by Square. But the thing is, it's Sakurai. He'd want to do it right. And that requires 2 specific characters. Don't know if you've heard of them. Donald Duck and Goofy. Explain to me how the hell Nintendo would get the rights to those 2. For a crossover fighting game, for something like a PNG or an up taunt for a character. The only thing that gives a character any credence, aside from their popularity, is if Sakurai wants to go on something meta, as his company is named Sora. That is literally the only possibility. I'm sorry, I have nothing else to say on this guy. Those are all of them. I know I'm missing a few, as for example, characters like Cuphead could have been listed under the already debunked categories. And hell, I didn't even talk about every character I wanted to talk about, as one more possibility is a Generation 8 Pokemon. But the thing is, there's so many possibilities. I just wanted to talk about some of the more popular ideas, or more popular characters who usually rank high on lists. Even if I don't know much about most of them. Because, again, I can't talk about everyone I want to see in this game. Or anyone that has a chance to be the 8th DLC fighter. I may have been joking, but in that intro skit, aside from the 2 blank sticky notes, every sticky note was a character I see at least having a small chance, aside from Shrek. Because they're all popular at the very least. Or are characters that could make for a fun moveset and originate from a video game. There are so many possibilities, and honestly, I don't know where they're going to go from Ultimate. Which, why am I only considering this problem now? They named the game Smash Ultimate. Where are they supposed to go up from here? What? Smash Super Ultimate Mega Fight? Actually, that sounds like a fighting game title. Maybe I should just leave. Well, anyway, you've been on YouTube for more than 2 minutes, so I think you know what to do. Like, subscribe, usual junk. Bye.